So this morning my wife's like, honey, the dryer stopped working. I'm like, what are you talking about? And yeah, it stopped working. Like it was working and now it's not. So I'm going to dig into this. We're going to kind of do some diagnosis here and see what's going on. I don't do this for a living, but I know enough about electronics and these systems that I think I can figure it out, and I really don't feel like buying a new dryer. So let's dig into this and see what's going on. All right, so what's happening here is I can turn this on and I hit start and I hear a click and nothing, and then I hit this and it's paused and click, it's nothing. So something's going on where the drum is not turning, it's not getting to the motor. I don't know what's going on, but I know for sure I've got power and it wants to turn on and pause, and that's it. That's all I can do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. Typically there's a wiring diagram behind this, and let's see what we got. So on most appliances, I got to get this headset off, and usually there's a screw with a 1/4 inch head, hex head on here and over here. So we're just going to take those out real quick. Okay, so now that I got the 2 screws out on this particular one, I've taken another GE apart before, so all we have to do is now just press back like this, and that will unlock these tabs right there, and then we can kind of take this headset off. And what I'm looking for is right here, this piece of paper. This is going to tell us what we need to know. So let's go take a look at this. All right, so this little guy right here, this is what you need, and every single piece of appliance. So this little guy is the road map here, the magic for every single appliance. It usually has this piece of paper tucked away somewhere in it, and sometimes it's tough to find, but you can find them online too. You just usually have to Google your model number, and most people have this up. But here's mine, and let's see. I've got some stuff about the system, how it works, airflow, seals, drive belts. What else? How to disassemble this, which is great because now I can disassemble it. I might have to do that. Now I'm going to look at this service mode test. I'm going to jump into that. We'll show you how to do that in a minute, but just want to run through. I've got 13 tests I can do according to this. Drive model codes, I don't need that. I don't really need it. Software version, no. I'm really not interested in the software, getting into like the computer part of this. It's usually something physical I find that breaks. So version check, no. Error codes, yes. I want to check my error codes and see if it's throwing an error code, just kind of like your car. Memory test, no. User interface, no. This outlet thermistor and inlet thermistor, I'll check those probably because that's kind of electromechanical kind of thing to see, make sure they're reading right. Check to make sure the door open close test is working. Let's see, water valve test. Now I don't have water hooked up to this. And EEPROM, no. And then drum test, I'll probably do that one, and we'll see what we got. So we're going to plug it back in, and then we'll run these tests. All right, so according to the paperwork, I just need to turn the power on. I'm just kind of putting this headset up. It's not connected, but I'm going to turn this on. And it says I need to hold down the start button and then turn this at least 180 degrees and then release the start button. So let's go to sanitize here. I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to go past that and let go. Let's see what it does. It doesn't do anything, so let's try that again. Let's back up. Nope, let's try it again. I have to hold down the start button no longer. There we go. All right, so I've got this E1 because I think I was reading this, and this is for electric dryers. If you have a gas dryer, it'll be like a G, but E1. And I want to go to, I'm just going to turn this. So that's service mode 2. I want to go to service mode 4. And then all I have to do is press this, and if there are any codes, they will display. And it's saying 0. Now, according to my paper, if it's 0, that means there's no code set. So there's no code set. It's kind of weird. So I'm going to go, let's see. I'm going to keep going. That's 5. I don't want that. That's software. 17. I'm sorry, 7. I'm going to check this one, and this is just telling how the thermistor is working, what temperature it's reading. And that looks right. And then we're going to go to this one, and that's other thermistor, and that looks right. Okay, and then let's see, moisture sensor, that's 9, we don't need that. Door open, close. So if I want to see if the door switch is working right, so this is DC because it's closed, and open it. And that's DO, so that's open, so that's functioning all right. So what's the next one? Water valve test, I don't have water. Restore EEPROM, I'm not messing with that. And then the drum test. So if I push the button here, it should activate the drum. So let's see. So it's on. And well, I'm not hearing the drum turn on, which is kind of weird. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do next here. So here's what we know. We don't have any fault codes, and the motor is not turning on. And so this wiring diagram is going to kind of tell us what things are and where they're located and how they're all kind of tied together with our wires. Now, if I'm looking here, it says drum motor right here, so that's going to be our drum motor switch and all of that good stuff right in here. And I want to see what's kind of controlling that. If I'm looking at this as well, I've got this drum relay, so I know this has something to do with actually powering the drum or turning that drum on. And I'm just going to kind of follow this down. If I come from this side, this is going to come down here, across, and then over to line 1. So I should have power there. Also, when I actually turn the washer on, I also should see power on this side coming down. And it looks like it comes down. Let's make sure. And then it comes into my motor right here. So I think that's what I want to check. First, I also, in this, I've got this, what's called an idler switch. And I don't know what that is. I'm going to guess that is for maybe the belt or something like that, like a switch to make sure that the belt's attached or something. So I want to take a look at this and make sure, but we're going to kind of take the head apart. We're going to just make sure we've got 120 volts here, 120 volts on this side when we turn it on, and then that will kind of eliminate everything from here to here. It'll tell us our fuse is good, and then we'll just go from there. So let's see what we got. So I'm just going to take this off and see what we got. Now, kind of all of my electronics are in here, and I've got this kind of metal shield in the way. I'm just going to take this off first, and that's going to give me a little bit better access to what I've got to get to. So I'm just going to confirm this with my multimeter, what's going on. You don't need to. I'm guessing it has to do something with the motor, and so I'm probably going to have to take this top off. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect my black lead right here to ground on one of these green wires. Those is always ground. And then my red lead, I'm just going to check it right here. I know it. This is my middle relay right here, and so this is the one for the motor. So I'm going to check on the orange wires. This said this is power coming in. So I'm going to check right there. And I don't know if you can put that right there. So I got 120 volts there. And so when I turn this on, you can see that's not really, it's more ghost voltage. It's like 23 volts because it's right next to the thing. But if I'm going to turn, if I can turn this on, and then I am going to go start. So I heard a click. And I'm just going to check the purple wire here. And yeah, I've got 120 volts there. So that means I've got power coming through here, coming through the relay, and going down to the motor. And so my issue now I know is between this purple wire or this violet wire and the motor down below. So another thing you can do, again, these are 120 volts coming in, so you don't want to be touching inside there, but this is all insulated. It's not going to hurt you. If I go right here and just feel this with my finger and feel that, I'm going to see if I can feel that click. Let me turn this on. Try it again. Yeah, it's clicking, so I can feel it working. So, but just to confirm, it's always good to have a multimeter. Set it on AC, and again, I just turned this off, so it's 23, 120. Let's turn it back on real quick. Power, start. Just make sure we've got 120 here going out, and yep, we got 120. So something's going on inside of this thing. So I'm going to unplug this And now it's time to tear this thing apart. So I got to take all these connections off. If you've never done this before, go ahead and just take a picture of all this before you start. I kind of know where they go because I've done this once or twice before on other things, so I'm pretty familiar with it. But usually it's just little locking tabs you got to just pull up, and then these disconnect. If it's being a booger, just press it down a little bit and then pull up. But I'm going to just pop all these off. Next, I've got this guy that goes down here, so I'll disconnect them. Okay, pressure together a little bit and then press down. That should come apart. And then I'll just undo my grounds right here and over here and take it apart. So to take the rest of the top off, I've got one screw on either side and then just 2 screws in the front, and then this top will come off. We'll see what's going on underneath. Comes up. Let's get our wires out of the way. This one's kind of hung up here. Hung up here. Let's push all those through. And oh, look at that. I don't think. Look at that. Look at that. Bolt broke. It doesn't turn on. So I bet there's a switch down there that somehow knows to turn off the motor. If this is not working, it breaks, something happens to it. So at least we know what our problem is, which is good. But I think we're probably going to do a little bit more disassembly. So let's look at the instructions and then we'll jump into that. All right, so the front of this has to come off. So it's just these 2 screws right here, and then it should just lift off according to the directions. So let's take these off. And let's see, pull this away. I've got a connector here. Take that one off, and then that just lifts up. Looks like. And then I got some connectors here, so let's grab this one. There we go. And this one, it's kind of tucked up in here. I think I'm just going to try and be careful. And just kind of put this on its side, just don't want to fall over. And then this should just pull out according to the directions, so let's just grab it. There, yeah. There we go. So that switch, that idler switch is right here. So when you pull this down, this is an idler to keep the belt tight. You hear that click. So when there's tension on this, it closes the switch or turns it on. When the belt broke, turns it off. So that is going to be our situation there. And then we just need to put the belt back on around this, put it around our idler pulley here, and we're good to go. So I was lucky enough that locally I could pick one of these up. Otherwise, you can order it off of Amazon or other supply websites for your particular dryer. This one, it doesn't even have the part number on here. It's a WE12M29. They also sell them at Lowe's. They were kind of universal. That might work for the right size, but I would look it up on the internet. Go to multiple websites. I'll list some in the description below as references. You can type in your model of your dryer and then go to the parts description and find it. And then I just kind of did a Google search for what was around me as far as what actually had a parts department and called them up, and they had it. So I was really lucky I could just pick this up today and then get this running for tonight, and we're gonna make the wife happy, so here we go. So I'm just gonna slip this on here around the drum real quick just to get it in around it, and it's just gonna rest. There's a rear bearing here, you have to come up about an inch from the top. Make sure you get that in, and just let it and then it's just going to rest here because this front is actually held by this portion right here. So don't worry about that. But now we'll put this kind of in place and then go down below and put it around the tensioner. Okay, and we'll give this a spin and make sure the belt's staying in place, and that's looking really good. So let's put our connectors back together. I've got some plates that go somewhere else, but are on later, but I'm just going to connect that guy, and then we'll connect everything back up to our board here, except our grounds. Let's put that there. And you'll notice that we've got some coordinating colors here, so blue, purple, and white go here, so you can't really mess these up too bad unless you're just not paying attention. Just make sure they click, give them a tug, that way you don't have to worry about it. One here, and then I've got to put my grounds on here and on the back. And then slide it forward. Now I just got to put in those two screws, but let's see what happens. All right. Oh, look at that. It lives. So I'm just glad this is fixed. I'm glad it wasn't a big deal and it was just this, but it took some time, and I just kind of went part by part, or did the easiest thing first and then work on to actually rip the whole thing off if necessary. So, and this really wasn't too bad to change. Just 4 bolts on top, 2 bolts here, and the whole thing comes off. It really wasn't that time intensive or really complicated. Plus, it tells you, at least in these instructions from GE, how to take it apart anyway. So it's not super complicated. If you're not super comfortable with a multimeter, that's fine. Go ahead and just take the top off. See if what your hunch is about something with the motor and the belt, if that's actually the situation. Because honestly, it's just the 4 bolts. You got to disconnect all the stuff from the head here, but it's just those 4 bolts to take this cover off, and then you'll know for sure right away whether it's just a belt or not, and that happened to be our situation. So I've got a few other home and shop improvements for you to check out in a playlist right here. So we'll see you in the next video.